So this morning we celebrate the life of a wonderful woman dying at the age of 67. And Saint Teresa of Jesus is not the same as Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus. Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus, Saint Teresa of Lisieux, was celebrated on the 1st of October. She was a French nun. And today we celebrate the Almighty Saint Teresa of Jesus, also known as Saint Teresa of Avila. She was a Spanish. At the age of 20, she entered the Carmelite convent. Her mother had died when she was just 11, but she embraced the life of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Interestingly, her father did not want her to be a nun. Her father was so disappointed and tried all he could to prevent her from being a nun. But this young girl said, no, I must give myself totally to God. When she entered the convent, just after 2 years, she was stricken by an illness. And for the next 3 years, Teresa was disabled. She was so sick that she couldn't do anything. And you can imagine what some of us would have said if she was in Ghana. Say, but at that point, God works in mysterious ways. At that point, she was able to build up the capacity for mental prayer. You are disabled, you can't move, like go for pilgrimage, all that. She built up her capacity for mental prayer. And she soaked herself in prayer. 3 years after that, as I said, she got better. Again, interestingly, after she has gotten better, then stuff started happening. For the next about 15 years, Saint Teresa of Jesus of Avila did not feel like praying. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 15 years. Sometimes you see what we call in spirituality tepidity. Tepidity. Sometimes we go through that, we don't feel like praying. You are coming for Mass, but you are just coming. You just come for Mass because it's morning Mass. You are online because it's online. You are not really putting yourself in the prayer. You are not imbuing yourself into it. You are not getting the fruits of it. But all this was part of the spiritual journey of Teresa of Jesus, Teresa of Avila. After she had gone through all these, when she came back to herself, she said, what is happening? Then she was able to combine, in especially because, you see, so when you read her writings, and that is why in 1970, Pope Paul VI proclaimed her a doctor of the church. One of the first women, of course, she and Catherine of Siena, women to be made doctors in the Catholic Church. Her writings, fantastic. The interior castles, the way to perfection. You can see how, because she went through great spirituality and also went through the tepidity. She's able to write in such a way that if you are basically on a journey, a spiritual journey, you can identify yourself in her writings. Yes. Her examples, fantastic. And not only did she write later, but she, who was even having difficulty in prayer, wrote to the Pope and said no. She thinks that although she's a Carmelite, their life was so relaxed. They had gone off what we will call editio typica, if it was a writing. They'd gone off the original life of a discalced nun. You know, a discalced nun is a nun, those who stay in monasteries, you know, they live very, very austere lives, frugal lives. Said no, the sisters were too relaxed. Why are they no? So she wrote to Rome, said, no, I want to form a more strict, yes, the discalced Carmelites. Let us go back. You know, the Carmelites believe that Elijah, our own Elijah, our senior brother in the Bible, is the founder, quote unquote, of the monastic life. And on Mount Carmel, Carmelites, that's what they're called Carmelites. That life was lived. And she sought to go back to the original life. When nuns were full of prayer, they lived total poverty. Total poverty. They left the riches of Europe at the time. You know, this was the 16th century. Born 28th March 1515. She died 4th October 1582. So this was around the 16th century. The time of the Counter-Reformation. Martin Luther in 1517, you know, had already started the Protestant revolution in Germany. So at that time, you know, you can imagine what was happening in Europe. He said, let us go back. Go back to the origins and live a holier life. And that is why the opening prayer said, we will learn true holiness from St. Teresa. Through holiness. In this world, we need to go back to our roots. Not that you're going to run away from Osu or Accra and go and stay in a bush or something, but in the midst of everything, let us detach ourselves from worldliness. All these things will pass by. Let us begin in a special way to root ourselves in the Word of God, in what we hear, so that we can be transformed into the holiness that Jesus had, that St. Teresa of Avila also imbued into herself and lived. So that one day, when we are done with this on earth, we would be in heaven. Note this. Teresa of Avila, even when she wanted to live a holier life, not that she wanted to do anything, but she wanted to live a holier life, got like-minded sisters who wanted to follow her way of life, had resistance. Not from non-Catholics, not from non-nuns, her fellow sisters, nuns. And I also know them, then they attacked her. I'm telling you, they attacked her. They tried to derail her. She did not give up. Let us not give up.